And we're back. It's time for China.
Ooh,
Chinese Doto.
I'm excited. I can't wait. Wings Newbee, I believe, is what we're going to be taking a look at in this next one. So should be a pretty solid set of games. I mean, Wings did pretty well over at what was that tournament again? WCA. Is that
Yeah,
the one?
WCA. There were allegations of misconduct, possibly
I would never
stealing
believe
team
it.
scrim information. They denied it. Other teams accused them. I mean, who knows what really happened? But they're a decent team for sure. They can take
Yep.
games off anyone. Newbies looked okay. They are not the newbie of old.
hmm
You take away Shao 8, no longer have your Tom Brady, your Joe Montana. Game's going to be a little bit harder. But
Well, the other thing though is people talking about how like TI4 meta. That's what we're looking at. Oh my God, we're already all the way through, and if you take a look at that one, no expense in terms of making sure that you guys get to see the whole draft. It's going to be Bat Rider, Nature's Prophet, Oracle, Undying, Razor, Spirit Breaker, Morphling, Shadow Shaman, Anti-Mage, and last up there a Tiny. Morphling, a hero that's been coming back in spades. It feels like. What do you think about this guy?
I'm not convinced on the Morphling yet. The big change was the new Aghanim Scepter upgrade,
Mm.
right? Which sounds really cool. Haven't actually seen it be a game-winning item aside from when Vici Gaming did their Morphling Undying Alchemist strat, but he was
Right.
fed an Aghanim Scepter. So I'm curious. Morphling historically has been an okay matchup versus Anti-Mage because they kind of counter each other. The Replicate obviously great for harassing the AM. Mana Burn on the other side really good against Morphling. Um, it's hard to say what Morphling's place is. Most teams seem to think he's a hard carry now, not that like old offlane style initiator Morphling. But I don't know. It's still kind of up in the air to me if he's actually a legitimate pick. I think he's been a little bit overrated by the Chinese teams based on the games I've seen, but maybe they're seeing something in scrims that we're not.
And I mean, yeah, you talk there about the Aghanim Scepter, and it feels like you sort of. It almost has to be gimmicky by its very nature because you have to choose a hero that you want to replicate that you feel like is going to be able to bring something to the table. And maybe that could end up being like a Tiny. You replicate a Tiny, you get a second Avalanche Toss combo. It seems like it could be good, but at the same time, also, like, is that worth the 4,200 gold when that could be built into an E-Blade where you end up going for the shotgun style?
Yeah, and the thing is, if it's your safe lane hero, like, unless you've got, I mean, they do have Prophet Tiny, so potentially, like, it could be more of a utility Morphling, but generally, you're on a safe lane Morphling, it's going to be a carry Morphling. You want him to do max damage, which means you go for the damage item, so.
Totally.
The other big thing is most Morphling players have been rushing a Lincoln Sphere. This seems like a good Lincoln's game. You're up against Blink Hex, if Shaman gets one, Blink Lasso. But Lincoln's is just so damn expensive, and it doesn't give you that much damage. Like you mainly are getting it for the active, so I don't know. I think he'll probably end up going Lincoln's again, but you need to be very efficient. The game where Sylar played it yesterday, where they won, he was out farming a Terrorblade, which frankly I don't think should have happened, but it's just a
Yep.
testament to his individual farming prowess.
Absolutely. Well, as we started off here, Undying facing off against Oracle, Bat Rider in tow in the bottom lane for Newbee. I think that this has the potential to be very, very deadly. I mean, Morphling is a hero that, while he's pretty slippery, if you dive him quite heavily, I still think that you're going to end up being in a decent amount of trouble. And I think this is going to be a tough lane for him in general, finding his farm. Spearbreaker's down there, but he's not the best at harassing away a Bat Rider either. And I mean, anybody that steps on up to try and harass a Bat Rider is just going to get napalmed up, and eventually with Firefly and everything else, like, that seems really freaking scary.
This is a good magic stick lane
Yeah, definitely.
between the decay and the napalm.
Absolutely. And Oracle, have you seen a whole heck of a lot of him? This is a hero that I've played a decent amount. He's
I
pretty
am
cool.
I'm an Oracle noob. Most of the people who pick him that I see have no idea what they're doing. I also have no idea what they're doing. So please, by all means, what are your thoughts on him this game?
Well, first of all, magical damage is one thing that you want to keep an eye out for. So a decent amount coming out from the Shadow Shaman, you're going to be able to negate that completely and totally. The other thing is the change that ended up happening with Fate's Edict, where now you're able to disarm for a tremendously longer period of time because the uptime got shut down. You no longer get the bonus damage on top of the person that you're casting it on. So it's sort of a bit of a tit for tat, but if you're taking a look at it, being able to disarm an anti-mage, I'm not exactly sure what the total time is, but it's pretty
And
significant.
you can dispel it, right? Like if you manta out of it or BKB. Or do you know?
I'm not sure about Manta, actually. If he can Manta out of it, then all of a sudden everything that I said becomes somewhat less
Well,
important.
I mean, it's still relevant. Then he's
Yeah.
got to blow his Manta to get rid of it.
Right.
What's another? Trying to think of another example of a disarm.
It's also a root, so Anti-Mage is going to be stuck in the ground. Fortune's End is.
Okay.
So that's another thing to keep in mind. And instead, we're just going to get the charge here onto the Bat Rider. It's going to be not gonna find anything.
Morphling nowhere in position to go for that one.
Yeah. DD'd up Undying, too.
This is such an annoying lane. It's Bat Rider and Dying. This is pretty disgusting. What are the other lanes we've got here? Mid lane Razor is 14 and 10 against a Tiny with no backup. It was actually so bad that he had to toss the Razor away from him earlier, as we saw. 1 CS. I mean, Rob said he wanted to retire the dumpster, but I think at this rate we might have to bring it back out. Not to say the Tiny's doing anything wrong, as the Nature's Prophet, who should have been your first blood, is stolen by the neutrals. The other good news is that Anti-Mage having pretty much a free farm lane with the Death there on the Prophet, things will get even more difficult for him.
I mean,
He's CSing well, though. 10 and 2.
Again, though, like that, the amount that this is going to be going bad in this lane here for Wings, you want your Tiny to be able to get on down there and make space for your Morphlane, because this is not a hero. I mean, you can hit a little bit harder now. They got a couple of buffs to Morphlane in terms of the damage that Adaptive Strike does as the base. But even still, this is not a hero that you're going to be trying to fight with early and often. And you need that Tiny to be able to be there for that space creator. And depending upon how the rest of this lane goes, if Razor picks up a quick couple of items and then they start grouping around maybe a Blink Dagger up on Bat Rider, this could get really ugly. And maybe even think about rotating another hero in. But who do you rotate? If you rotate the Spirit Breaker, then your Morphling is getting dove.
Yeah, I mean, overall, Newbee's winning. They're convincingly winning all 3 lanes. Shaman has 8 CS.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the 3 cores are all topping the charts. And they almost got a first blood as Faith had to die to the neutrals in the end. So pretty much everything is going the Newbee way. I would say in terms of late game, it's pretty even. Oracle is really good late. I'm sure you can touch on that more. And they've got 3 cores that scale well, but they need a lot of farm. They need a lot of space, and I don't really think they have many tools to deal with the farmed anti-mage late game. Or not late game, rather, mid game, like once he gets his basic items out. So
Yeah.
I am incredibly worried for Wings. I think they're in a huge amount of trouble, and I don't know who makes the plays. You mentioned the Spirit Breaker, but where's the follow-up damage at this stage? They feel a bit light on it.
I think, oh, well, here they go. The damage actually could come from Oracle, because that is the thing. He does a good amount there with Purifying Flames. Is going to be able to get the root down, a couple of right clicks. There's going to be the Sprout. Maybe trying to, no, he's just out of there. I guess the other thing is that Oracle hasn't gotten the levels either. And if you want to be able to deal damage with that here, you need to pick up some more points in Purifying Flames.
Yeah, so they've already abandoned the offlane for Faith. The Morphlane's been left 1v1 against a Bat Rider at a really good start. Tiny using Toss just to farm individual creeps. He's slowly trying to get back in the game, but it's going to be a fast Blink Dagger for the Bat, a fast Battle Fury for the Anti-Mage. They need kills. And they tried for the toss-in on the creep, on the Moo. I think they were hoping to toss in the Oracle, but
Oh my god.
can they get the kill anyway? Doesn't look like it. He's low. Oh, the big gem! And incredibly, it is first blood to Wings, though it almost cost them 2 heroes to get it. Man, that is an unusual first blood.
The fact that the Razor went back in there against 3 heroes, pretty bold. I said, oh my god, because I thought that he was actually about to kill all 3 of them. But obviously that didn't end up happening. Still, though, I mean, you take a look at the CS charts right now, everybody is at least about 10 up on top of the side of Wings. Of course, Tiny now with that kill in First Blood is going to be shooting up to the top.
That's so big. Tiny was mega shut down before that.
That's ridiculous.
Suddenly leader in net worth.
Man. You still do have the problem of the anti-mage, though, and as you were saying, how do you really control this guy at the later stages of the game? Right now, you're going to need an Abatos, you're going to need the root coming out from the Oracle, and a couple of right clicks from at least another hero.
Yeah. Well, they want to shut him down before he gets there. So
right.
This is definitely a Tiny Blink game to me. Just so he can get active early, pressure the AM. Even if you don't kill him, if you at least force him out of the lane, make him go heal or play a little bit unsafe in the jungle, then you have maybe a follow-up kill on him. Spirit Breaker needs to hunt the AM. I think they can largely ignore the Razor. If Razor's the only farmed hero this game, Wings are fine, and he's also a bit tough for them to kill quickly. So I would like to see the Tiny just really focus on pressuring the map, either killing the AM or just killing the easy supports like the Shaman mainly.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly a pretty easy kill. He's not the most.
I think our observer fell asleep, Brian.
We might need to
Help.
change
He's
things up a
fallen and
little
he can't
bit.
get up.
I was wondering what was going on there, but we'll just have to play by minimap for a moment. Apparently
This game has apparently bored the Chinese observer to tears. So we're going to go to Scriff instead, who does catch the kill bottom lane. The Undying will fall. Not living up to his name at all. And they're going to take the tower.
Nice. Yeah, this is pretty big. I mean, Wings, after that kill in the mid, got their Tiny back into it. Now this is going to be able to get the Morphling a decent chunk of gold off the back of it. So all across the board, pretty nice there. It does look like Oracle's going to be the one with the last hit, and continuing to make some more space for their Morphling. So after a bit of a disastrous start, Wings coming back into it and maybe going to be able to start to keep applying the pressure around the map. It's going to be tough to tell, though, and again, I guess that the problem that you face is the Anti-Mage with 54 last hits and no pressure really being applied as of yet.
They either need to pressure him or they need to really punish the fact that he's just AFK farming. And right now they're going for the latter. Big jump in bottom lane. They're going to get another kill. They're really playing around the Nature's Prophet well. Faith has been... He had a pretty rough start top, almost giving up a first blood, got the lucky neutral tonight, but he's really coming back into the game.
And now Morphling just waveforming away, although Razor's really fast. He's going to be able to catch up to him here. We do have another waveform in 3. Oh, he's going to be able to get out of there.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
New and improved morph. My god. There's no killing him. They're very reliant on the Shaman Hex to kill the Morphling, I would say. No other way to stop him from just toggling it on. But this gives space to the Tiny, up to 1900 gold. Looks like he's rushing the Blink, not stopping off for anything else. No snacks for him. He just wants a full, proper meal.
Batrider should have his Blink up pretty soon, too. That's the other way to do it, obviously, is being able to get the jump on top of the Morphling and catch him there with the... of course, if you do end up getting the Flaming Lasso on him, you're still going to potentially be able to get off that Morphling morph. Spear Breaker next going for an Urn.
That's a pretty fast Blink for the Batrider.
Yeah.
Smoke already picked up, has the TP. Where does Tule want to go? This is very big. Ideally, you'd kill the Tiny before he gets his Blink, but I think he's just got it now. So it's probably too late for that.
Well, when you mentioned it being a little bit fast, they might not be expecting it. They are going to be smoked out and looking for a kill of their own. Does he actually have it?
Who?
The Tiny, does he have his Blink Dagger?
I don't know.
It didn't look like it.
He had 1800 gold before he went back.
Okay. Oracle 2 levels or 2 points in Purifying Flames. He's dealing, I think, 180 magical damage with that spell.
What's the cooldown on it?
Like 2.2 seconds. It's crazy. But you get the heal afterwards. So you have to purge that off.
You gotta purge it and burst them.
Goes up to 360. That's the other one, is you occasionally see it sometimes with a Viper. So you lay on down like the magical damage first, which gets reduced from corrosive skin, and then you just have constant. That's going to be the Flaming Lasso, as well as Snakes dropped on down.
He just bought a Shadow Amulet. All right, no Blink. He's trying to go for a Shadow Blade.
Okay.
Not sure about that.
And now finishing off, taking Innocence.
Uh-oh. That's really bad. They committed a smoke. That was a really long time to be off the map. Like, no one was showing mid for quite, like, what was that, a wave and a half? They were showing the Morphling bottom, but that was a pretty obvious smoke gank overall, just because they took so long. And then on top of that, Bat had his Blink. They didn't know he had it, and they got the high ground advantage. So everything, basically, that could have possibly gone wrong for Wings went wrong all at once. But maybe they try to hold this tower. They do have the charge. The Tiny's coming up soon.
Well, Ice is sitting there. Faux Ice.
Is there going to be a fight?
Looks like they might be. They're able to catch him out there, and that's going to be the Anti-Mage dead almost at the very start of this one. Now going to be able to jump on over onto the Undying. A couple more right clicks is going to finish him off, and back and forth we go. A couple quick kills. Wings coming back at him. Shadow Blade not picked up yet on the Tiny. That's kind of a weird build. What do you think about that one?
I mean, Silver Edge is cute against Anti-Mage to remove the spell shield, but I don't know. It's tough against Batrider, especially if he gets a gem. Like, good luck sneaking up on anyone at that point.
No.
He may not upgrade it. It's still okay for killing supports, but the one other issue with that build is that Tiny already tends to have slight mana problems. Normally you want to get either treads and or drums, or you have someone like CM who could give you mana. So it can work. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I enjoy it a lot in pubs, but I don't think it's normally the way to go in a pro game.
Well, and I guess the other big issue is like mobility and not being able to keep up with the AM. Maybe that's the idea, though, is that you know you're not going to be able to keep up with them anyways, so you hit them once and then get the Avatos combo. You get
and
the
that one
bonus
right
damage.
click, when you're coming out of the Shadow Blade does a lot of damage because it's physical, right? So
Yeah.
it helps a lot against the AM.
Yeah.
I would have preferred a blink, but I can understand some of the reasons for why you might get a Shadow Blade instead.
Charging on
It's also like he suddenly was about to die, so he may have just panicked and bought something, so he didn't waste his unreliable gold.
Yeah. AM is 400 gold from picking up his Battle Fury.
What is Morphling going? Did you see?
I didn't see, but this might be actually that kill that we're talking about.
Can he solo kill him? I don't think so. Oh, with the Prophet ult. Nicely done.
That's huge. That was right before Battle Fury, and I think he lost some gold off the back of that.
Yeah, I mean, they did not see the Shadow Amulet either because he bought that in his stash when he was about to die. So that was, with the Prophet ult +1, that was huge.
Yeah.
Incredibly good time to get the kill.
Well,
That was something I did not think about, which obviously made a big difference there.
and it looks like also, Morphling is going for the Boots of Travel. That's what he ended up picking up first. So,
Oh, that's something fresh. What's the build from here?
I don't know. Maybe you end up. I still feel like if you're going to go for that, Lincoln's maybe it's just like a farming build, sort of the way that PL would get it in the past, so that you can show up to fights but not necessarily have to like stay with the rest of the team, and maybe use your replicate differently than you would have before. Use it in the fight to be able to get a little bit of extra bonus damage.
So yeah, I guess he is going Lincoln's.
Yeah.
So he's very. I mean, I wouldn't say he's vulnerable now, but he's very low impact at this stage. But it will definitely pay off if they don't punish, and especially at the Prophet, like you were saying, just the double global threat. Well, it's actually triple with the Spear Breaker, and you've got the Tiny off the map. So they have 4 heroes that can just show up out of nowhere. That's pretty scary. It's an interest. It feels like they have more of a clear idea of how they want to use the Morphling compared to some of the other teams from yesterday, where they kind of just picked Morphling. Seemed like they just thought he was a strong hero. Oh my God, how? You're playing with fire. Or water in this case.
Oh, that's going to be a catch there. Rooted on down. They are going to be able to catch and kill Schwan. He falls. But now maybe going to be able to find a second Batrider looking for a kill. But there's 4 heroes here. And I feel like maybe if they even turned around, they could think about going back in. There's the Spirit Breaker charge. Hits onto 2. Razor is going to end up going down. I believe no Avatos. And now it looks like Batrider might be in trouble as they're going to be able to catch him. The second Avalanche gets thrown out. And now Anti-Mage needs to get the hell out of there before he gets taken out as well. And
This Tiny laned 1v1 against a Razor, and the Razor was 14 and 10, and the Tiny was 1 and 0. And suddenly, the Tiny is 1,200 gold up, completely controlling the map with his team. This guy is having a beautiful comeback. I don't know what that name means, though. Is Roland around? Where's Roland when you need him?
not here.
Or Winter.
God dang it.
Apparently Winter's busy owning.
Yeah, I know, right? He is. He's been doing it proud. It's pretty solid. It's cool to get to see that, like, you know, Veggie 2, Dota 2 casters showing up. Feel some love there.
Just to solidify the lead. Now the Midas on the Prophet.
Oh God.
Really good. Again, you know, 4 heroes that can be off the map at any time, plus the Oracle, who's had a huge impact in a lot of these fights. Tough to leave your base when you lose those early towers.
Absolutely. So, net worth lead. Morphling up at the top. Tiny there. We do have the Battle Fury up on AM, but again, just not feeling comfortable in his own skin. Nature's Prophet is now Cliff Jungling Ancients, which is a little bit better when you're 10-2 than when you're 0-0.
I would love to take this little moment out of context. Because it's way funnier in that sense.
Apparently the Tiny's name is ZY Blink, so...
His name is ZY Blink and he didn't buy a Blink? Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Shadowblade's better, man.
It's all a great deception because clearly it's working. The blink is a red herring.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the mind games with your name.
Is that like where the mind game meta is headed?
Exactly.
Use your name to throw people off. So you're telling me that Eternal Envy is like the ultimate mind gamer?
Yeah, that's the way to be.
I could believe that. He's always trying to go to the next level.
Absolutely. Oh, you can go around and cut down those trees, and then I guess can you stack both the ancients and that side camp at the same time if you clear all the trees? That's what it looks like. That might be interesting with IO Tiny. I mean, obviously it's going to take a while for Tiny to be able to get it, but it looked like you're able to stack the off-lane camp and the ancients at the same time. Have to try that out a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if you can stack them both. Well, the way the game's developed, Razor is not very mobile, so he can't really go off on his own too easily. With the 4 heroes, they can just ambush you out of nowhere. It's mainly Hao is going to be split pushing, but even he has to be careful about a charge, Shadowblade Tiny initiation. Speaking of which, hey buddy, how you doing?
God, that's just so deadly. Oh, they do catch though with the Batrider, but there's the Oracle. Pretty good hero, and now he's just going to be able to walk away from that one.
That was pretty lolsy right there. Even getting the zombies in on the action. It's this counter zombie toss as Lei is going to get caught next. He'll go down. Yeah, looks like Oracle pretty good against Batrider.
I mean, the thing that
add Batrider to the list of heroes that Oracle just poops on.
The other thing about that is it goes back to that Shadowblade. I don't think he gets that solo kill if he doesn't get the damage coming out from the Shadowblade that you were talking about.
Oh yeah, he definitely doesn't get it with a blink, unless he had a +1.
Right.
So that's why he's playing and we're casting.
Exactly.
It is a pretty risky item though. Like, let's say you go the Shadowblade, the first gank doesn't work. Maybe they see it coming, or they have a sentry ready because they saw you pick up a component. Suddenly, they're prepared for your ganks. You don't have a reliable initiation. Your only initiation at that point is charge. So it works out beautifully. Obviously, was a good pickup, but it can also go the other way where it's completely useless.
Well, they're going to cancel their charge now on the AM as the Nature's Prophet does go down. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, you got to go all or nothing. And they were in a spot where they needed to get something. I mean, at that point, Tiny had come back a little bit in his lane, but even
that
still.
First, like, 2 things were really big. The Nature's Prophet, Faith getting the deny to neutrals, and then getting the first blood and getting it on the Tiny against the enemy solo mid. That lane was so one-sided for Mu before then. That to me was like the turning point of the game more than anything else that has happened since.
Right. Ooh, Aether Lens.
Because they didn't already have enough solutions as it is.
Jeez.
And that's a very... Morphlate has not done anything as far as, like, coming to fights. That's the scary part.
He hasn't had to, and he's going to start going ham here in a little bit. I mean, and with the Lincoln Sphere, he feels that much more comfortable charging in there in the middle of everybody. Oh, my God. It's going to be pretty ugly here in a little bit. I don't know... Like, by all rights, that shouldn't have necessarily worked super well because I think that it really showed the danger that you had to have the Tiny solo against the Razor. You know what I mean? Like, that to me felt like they could pressure that lane so much more effectively.
The lane was so bad that he had to toss the Razor back to the creep wave just to survive. Like, at the very least, as Tiny, in like a melee versus range matchup, you want to be using toss to farm, but...
Right.
It was the right play. It's just a sign of how one-sided the matchup should be. But this is the beauty of a hero like Tiny, is that he is a really good comeback hero, and he's just executed beautifully. He hid the Shadowblade. Like, it's the same as getting a blink. That first use really has to get you a kill, or you've spent a lot of gold on an item that they're now prepared for. And he got it on the ideal target, the anti-mage. So anyway, gets the eggs now. They can play the farm game. Tiny, Morphling, and Prophet with the Midas, not to mention 2 really strong late game supports. I don't think they're in any hurry. To me, it's like Newbee is going to have to find the pickoffs. Even if it goes late, if both teams just free farm, Newbee are going to have to severely outplay Waynes to win. They don't auto win based on their damages. Looks like they're going to kill the AM bottom.
Oh man, getting all ready for it. Grouped up, ready to go. There's the root and everything else thrown at him. Nature's Prophet popped off his ulti from... oh, he's actually not cliff jungling anymore.
By the way, is this game 2? I think it is game 2, right?
It doesn't show up on the ticket there, so I'd assume it was just 1.
Hey, Brian, if you can hear me, did Waynes win game 1? Or is this game 1? This is actually game 1. Oh,
okay.
we're ahead of schedule because I guess America ended pretty quickly.
Oh, nice. Feels good. All right, Razor now jumping on in. Eye of the Storm. They are going to be able to get the stuns. Oh my God! Look at Batrider go down right there. Now Razor's in the middle of all of them, but they're just going to be able to TP away. Meanwhile, Tiny up on the high ground, able to take down the Shadow Shaman, and it looks like the right clicks coming in from the Ag Scepter are going to be too much, and nobody is dying from Wings. Everybody is going down from Newbee. 5-man team wipe, monster kill streak. Oh me, oh my! Wings are flying high.
Oracle seems to be just destroying them. Counters the Batrider initiation, just amps up the Tiny's damage. Like this hero is just doing work.
He's pretty good.
I feel like he's doing more damage than some of their cores are at this point, to be totally honest with you.
So Nature's
very impressive.
I also like this, not only cliff jungling, but also going for Ags.
I think Faith is just doing this for the memes. It's a nice way. It's very efficient, right?
Yeah.
You can kill 2 fairly important camps. The Ancients just stand there, apparently.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Even the ranged ones weren't attacking him. I guess they're out of range when you have the dragons. Not sure, but... Yeah. Well, there's your Ags. So now they can play the Ultra Map control game. We already talked about it earlier, but with the Prophet Ags, it's even easier to push in all the lanes. So now the Shadowblade Tiny becomes more effective. The synergy is really good. And, oh, hey, it's a Moogle. So cute.
What's a Moogle?
Huh?
What's a Moogle?
You've never played Final Fantasy?
I only played like Final Fantasy 1 on the Nintendo. I grew up without like a PlayStation. I got an emulator on my mom's laptop for the NES, and I played that and the original Legend of Zelda. You're face palming so hard right now.
I am. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You're not coming back to the next sub game. That's for damn sure. Oh, it's okay. You really should play Final Fantasy though.
Okay, I'll hop on it. Oh, Nature's Prophet gets another kill there. AM goes down. Life is hard.
Yeah, that was the Tiny Prophet duo. Feels like that combo has just done that, and the Oracle's individual plays have just been the big engines driving the Wings forward.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Definitely.
Making their move now. Charge comes through, connects on late. The Batrider's there, but you don't really want to commit a lasso just on him. I guess they're going to have to. So they bring the Spirit Breaker out of the picture, but still on the other side of the fight, Tiny as well as Morphling doing whatever they want. Morphling, well, actually trying to decide what he wants to do. Now Tule will get turned on. How dare you lasso me? Take that! The Lantern to the face, toss to follow it up, 4 dead, and probably a lane of Rex. Godlike Tiny, who had a 13 and 10 CS deficit at like the 5-minute mark.
They're just stomping on him right now.
It's pretty rare to see a first blood that completely turns an individual player's momentum this hard, but that was it.
GG. Holy crap. What a freaking stomp. I don't know, man. There's not a whole hell of a lot else to talk about. It's just... after the point where that first blood came out, and then being able to find the pickoffs with the Shadow Blade, you constantly had the Morphling farming in the back. The Nature's Prophet was able to farm consistently. Once the Aghanim Scepter came out too, it wasn't going to get easier. There was no like win condition that that Newbee were waiting for. It was like playing from ahead was where they needed to be. Like,
yeah.
Undying particularly, 0-7. That's a hero that you have to be ahead on. Otherwise, you're just like you're doing nothing.
So the whole Arteezy was left, Kuroki was right, or vice versa, depending on your allegiances.
Right.
They're both left here when it comes to IG and Chuan. IG is in struggle city. Chuan's team needs to get their act together. They're just getting smacked around by Wings. I mean, it's not often you see a team that had so much success. It was, I guess, an unhappy marriage, and both sides are just in the gutter. But right now, that's where they're at. So
China was left.
Who's going to crawl out first? Will it be Chuan scraping his way back to relevance, or will it be IG?
Yeah.
The 4:30 show.
Time will tell, I guess. But
for now, they're both very unhappy. That's for sure.
Dumpstered left, whatever it is that we want to say. It's
the dumpster's just down, right?
Yeah, dumpster's down. What would be up then? I have no idea.
A vacuum cleaner.
A vacuum cleaner.
I don't know. We'll think about that. You guys can let us know. It's was it at Lyrical Dota?
At Lyrical Dota, yeah. Oh, there's
tweet
the plug.
at him. Let him know what would be up if the dumpster is down.
Oh, God.
And while you guys are mulling that over, I think we'll just take a quick break here. We'll come back for game number 2. Wayne's smacking Newbee around, spanking them brutally. Let's see if Newbee advances in game 2.